Hello, my name is Andy and I am the Village Idiot. I'm armed with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. I'm using that time to attempt to visit every civil parish in England. You're watching the Ryedale series, 115 parishes covering a huge area of North Yorkshire between York and Scarborough. It's a beautiful area, so let's have a look at it. Welcome back to Ryedale here in North Yorkshire, everybody. Now I'm beginning this one next to this place's village hall and also one of its major landmarks. If you can see behind me, there is a purple sign for the Slow Motion Distillery, which is over there. And that's the first thing we're going to talk about in the parish of Barton le Willows. Here's my disclaimer for people who may be watching me for the first time. I say things as I would in my native accent and dialect. As a result, I may not pronounce things in the same way as the locals do. Remember, I'm a visitor. It's impossible to know everything. Leave me a comment, spin me a like and bash that subscribe button. Let's get to today's parish video. Right folks, now we're starting to head north away from York and deeper into Ryedale. Welcome to Barton le Willows, which is around 8 miles southwest of Ryedale's main town, Malton. It's about a mile away from the A64, the main York to Scarborough road, and technically this is a riverside settlement because the parish boundaries border the River Derwent. Realistically though, the actual village is quite a way away from the riverbank. This one was quite a hard one to research. Barton le Willows is a lovely village and it's typical of Ryedale, but it lacks quite a lot when it comes to documented history. However, with a bit of digging, I was able to unearth a few bits. Like many other places we've met with the name Barton, the village was recorded as Bartun in the Domesday Book. Commonly known as Barton, this is a village that is almost entirely residential except for a village hall and a notable business located at Green Farm. If you're a lover of certain alcoholic drinks, you might want to sit up and take notice when we talk about it. Barton has never had an Anglican church as far as I can tell, but it did have at least 2 chapels, one of which stands proudly over the exquisite village green. To the north of the village there's a railway line which runs between York and Scarborough, another which was constructed under the watchful eye of George Hudson in the 1800s. So let's go for another walk in lovely Ryedale. Our route around Barton le Willows begins at its biggest feature. This is the Slow Motion Distillery, which is based at Green Farm to the village's northwest. Founded in 2002, Slow Motion Distillery makes spirits and liqueurs. The business began almost by accident when a farming initiative to improve wildlife habitats resulted in an abundance of sloes, the plant used to make a type of gin. An idea began to take shape, and before you knew it, Slow Motion was born. Back to the road, and here we have the village hall, which you could easily mistake for a house. This is a well-used building, not just by the residents of Barton, but also those in nearby places like Howsham and Bossall. It's also the base for a local playgroup, which operates 2 days a week. Outside the hall is the parish notice board, and you all know what that means by now. Mark it off, folks. 3 down in Ryedale, 112 to go. So having come down from the distillery and the village hall, we're now at the village green, which you can see right here. It's a very big village green, this one, split into various parts. You've got a bit here, you've got a bit over there, there's a bit beyond that. There's some narrow roads connecting the parts together. And we're going this way. You might just be able to see a sign there. York is 11 miles that way, and that way says village only, because Barton le Willows is actually on a dead end. So yeah, this is the way we're going. Let's see what's down this main street. So this is Main Street, and here's the old phone box. No book exchange in this one, folks. This one houses the village's defib machine. The layout of Main Street is typical of a rural North Yorkshire village. One long straight street with stone cottages. This will be a theme as we head deeper into Ryedale. Barton le Willows has no amenities of note other than the village hall. There's no shops, so owning a car out here is definitely a must. There's no pub either, although there used to be. The reddish coloured cottage you see here was the Blacksmith's Arms, and it's one of the village's listed buildings. Barton also has no bus service. There used to be a stop in the centre of the village close to what was a former post office. Both are now not in operation. And Barton also has never had a school. I may not be selling this village very well, but you can't deny the lack of services aid its peacefulness. Okay, so now we're going to take a right turn and head down the back of the main street to come round in a little loop. Just before we do, you can see behind me there, we've got a water treatment works, pumping station type thing. I find all the good stuff. This road will take us back almost to the beginning. It doesn't have a name as far as I can tell, but it's a narrow lane with some more lovely houses on it. All of these overlook some of the best countryside Ryedale has to offer. Barton le Willows has never had an Anglican church, or if it has, it's never been documented. What makes this a little confusing then is the fact that Historic England shows a burial ground off this lane. I didn't film it because I had no idea it existed. Very overgrown, it looks like a random clump of trees. This image I've inserted here shows what it looks like. It just goes to show you never fully know what's out there. Whilst it never had a church, one thing it most definitely did have once upon a time was a Methodist chapel. Cited on the green, the date of this building is uncertain, but the style would suggest it was built around 1900. It doesn't appear on the 1894 OS map, which shows a Wesleyan chapel further along the village street. Okay, so we're back to the village green, and you can't park on the green. According to these signs, no parking on the village green. Thank you. So, we're going to take you through the green via this little road here. We're going to walk across it, beyond this tree, and then up towards the village hall, which is on the road where that white car is just there. So let's go down here this way and show you the rest of Barton. There's not really much more to see, to be honest with you, from between here and where the car is. Just another collection of houses, gorgeous houses by the way, and in the sunshine they just look great. I love this type of village, you know, ones that are out of the way, sort of in the middle of nowhere, and when the sun hits them they just look brilliant. I know plenty of villages like this. I've been to plenty of villages like this, and I'm sure there's plenty more to come. That's Manor Farm there. Manor Farm. Hope that van didn't get in the way. There's a vehicle coming down, a farm vehicle. Let's see which way he's going. If he's going to, oh, he's turning, that's okay. So if he was coming this way I would have stayed on the green, but I can walk on the road if he's turning to his right. There's another parish notice board over there, look, you see, near the bench. Don't need to put a card on that one because I've already done the one outside the village hall. Speaking of the village hall, it's back up here. There we go. It's just up there beyond that van. You'll see my car in a second. There we go, right outside the village hall. And that's it. That's the walk around Barton le Willows. Lovely little place. I could live here with no problem. I don't know about you guys, but certainly one of my favourite ones I've done so far in Yorkshire. Now, we're not quite finished with Barton le Willows, because to the north of the village there's an old railway station. I can't remember for the life of me what it was called, but I'm sure I'll have remembered by the time I put this video out. So we're going to drive up to that and check it out, and check out the signal box that's there as well. The line is still very much active, so let's go and see them, shall we? So if you follow the road north from the village hall, you'll come to Barton Hill, which is termed a separate settlement even though it's within the parish boundaries. This was the site of a former railway station on the York to Scarborough line. It was called Barton Hill Station, and it was open between 1845 and 1930. Barton Hill was a minor station and was originally just named Barton. Hill was added in 1853. It was operated by the York and North Midland Railway. This is the first time we've seen the York to Scarborough line. It was built remarkably quickly, taking just 1 year and 3 days to complete its 42-mile long route. It was the work of railway king George Hudson. Several stations along its route have closed. There are plans to reopen some of them, but Barton Hill is not one of them. The best feature up here, in my opinion, is Barton Hill's signal box. This still features a gate wheel which mechanically raises and lowers the crossing gates. And in the background you might just be able to hear a lot of road noise. That's the A64 you can hear, which is literally just around that corner and a left turn for me to make my way home. That's been the parish of Barton le Willows here in Ryedale, and I do hope you've enjoyed it. I know I have. I'll see you at some point in the future in this district. I don't know when I'm going to be back here. The 3 episodes you've seen recently were kind of a one-off, but they will sort of form a series later on the channel. I don't know when that will be though. Anyway, I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot. This has been the parish of Barton le Willows, and I'm out.